it's me again. I wanted to share another video. As a hobby, I write stories, fiction. They're not real. They're just from my imagination. And I just wanted to show you how many stories I've written and how many books that I printed off um, from a website. I don't get my books published, my stories, because that costs a lot of money to do that. So this website that I use, it's storyjumper.com. Teachers use it, parents use it for their kids. But you go on there and you write your stories. You can add your voice to it. You don't have to buy it to read it. You can just read it. But I buy my own because I just want to see what it would look like if I ever did publish them. But it's actually pretty cool. You can buy your own stories. The highest one of my stories that I wrote is $80. I think that's the highest one that I wrote is $80. I'm not gonna buy that one because that's too much money. But I did buy a few of mine just to see what they would look like. They got hardback, paperback, the flimsy ones, and then they got the paper where you just print it off, so you don't have to actually buy it. And then another website I use is Wattpad.com. That's WATTPAD.com. You'll find my stories on there too. Those are the only two that I really use a lot. I use both of those a lot, but the other ones I don't use so much. But these two I use because I get a lot of comments on them, and so that means those are my go-to websites for putting your stories online. But I mean, it's great. Those two websites, even StoryJumper.com is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Kids, you'll see a lot of kids on there too that wrote their own stories, and then you'll see a picture of them holding their story up. It's so cool. But yeah, I just wanted to share with you stories that I write. My stories are mainly fiction. They're Native American Indian stories. I don't know if these events take place in real life. I have no idea. This just comes to my head. I mean, there are a few things that I know that really does happen on the reservations and stuff, but the rest of it, I'm not too sure. It's just my imagination. I mean, it's just how I write, I guess you could say. But they're all fiction. They're not real. All the names that I use are made up names. And the Indian names are made up, but I don't know if those are real names. I mean, I guess I could look into it and see if let's see. If Lone Wolf is someone's name. I guess I can look into that too and see, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, my character's name is, real. But all these names are fiction. They just come up randomly. I don't know how that happens, but it just does. But I was going to show you some of the stories I've written and the books that I've printed off from the StoryJumper.com. So yeah, we'll get that started. This one that I wrote, don't mind the stickers. I was just being funny. This is on being Pentecostal. This is the first chapter. It's on head covering. And this one is why don't you wear jewelry? This is like why Pentecostals get asked a lot, why don't you or why do you? Here's in that chapter 3 is wear makeup. That's what that says. It says, girls, if you have to wear makeup to be accepted, don't be accepted. If you have to cut your hair to be accepted, don't be accepted. If you have to something, I can't read that. There's nothing more beautiful than a long-haired, beautiful apostolic lady. Now, there are some apostolic people that never ever cut their hair, but it's short. That's because some of it is thin and it just falls off. Or they curl their hair, get a perm, and it just falls off because that's the chemicals. It just falls off. And sometimes their hair never got longer. It just falls off, or it just never grew. So, and then this is chapter 4. Why don't you watch television? Some do, I do, but I don't have cable, so I just buy Christian movies and other movies. And this one is listen to anti-Christian music. That's the cover of that one. And the next one is Steal, Lie, or Gamble, and I put this picture in it. This picture. It's funny. And then the other one is Use Tobacco, Alcohol, or Drugs. Why don't you? And then I put this picture in there. And then chapter 8 is Why don't you support abortion? It says, take my hand, not my life. The next chapter is Why don't you support homosexuality, lesbian, and incest? And that's the photo for that. It says, I choose not to be what the world says I need to be. I choose to be like Christ, holy and separated from this world. The next chapter is Why don't you support pornography? And I put this picture for the cover. Hazardous. And then chapter 11 is Why don't you support any form of witchcraft? And I put this photo in it. Why don't you participate in worldly amusements? I found this picture on Google. Pretty cool. And then the other one is Why don't you believe in premarital sex? And I put the stop sign on it. And then the last one is we do not support sin in any form. So I put this photo up. It says, we are coming to our Savior. There is no one too far out from the mercy of God, and no sin that is beyond His grace. So this is story 1. This is on being Pentecostal. This one is Billy and the Gang Part 1. Part 2 and 3 is in here too. I'm actually working on a 4th one. But I wrote this when I was 19 and I was in the 11th grade. I wrote it in 2009 and I finished 2012. This is the cover page for the first book. And then for the second book, this is the first page. And I wrote this 2009. I wrote all these in 2009. And I finished in 2010 on this one. And this is the third one. That's the picture for the third one. And I started this story in 2014 and I finished in 2017. Actually, no, this is the last story of Billy and the Gang. I guess I don't know, maybe that's just another one I'm going to be doing. But yeah, that's one of my stories. And again, you can find these on storyjumper.com and wattpad.com. wattpad.com. And here's this one. This is my recent one. It's called The Forgotten Children. It's pretty long. Let's see, when did it started? January 30th, 2018, and I finished August the 1st of 2018. And this is called The West. I wrote this when I was 16, and I was in the 9th grade, and I started it in 2007, and I finished in 2011. So some of these took a long time to actually finish. And this one is The Friend I've Known for 10 Years. This is actually a true story. It's about me and my friend over the years. And I wrote this when I was 17, and I was in the 10th grade. And I started it in 2007, and I finished it in 2015. And that's her picture, by the way. And this one is called Revenge. I wrote this when I was 16. I was in the 9th grade, and I started it in 2007, and I probably finished it in 2007 since it's really short. But that's that one. This one is called The Red Road. The Red Road. And I started it in 2013 and I finished it in 2017. I think yeah, I did. Okay. And this is The Homework Trouble. I wrote this when I was 15, and I started it in 2005, and I finished it in 2005. This one is called Cats. This is me and my sister. We role play over text messages, and I write them all down and I turn it into a story. So we did this. We started this in 2009, and we both finished it in 2011. And so I bought this book on storyjumper.com. I think it was $30, maybe $20-something, I'm not sure. But I bought it for my sister for Christmas. So I gave it to her for Christmas. She thought it was so cool. I did too. It looked good on hardback too. I'll just grab them. This one is Story Told by an Elder. I wrote this when I was 15. I was in the 7th grade. I started it in 2005, and I finished it in 2006. This is The Good Fighter. I was 16. I was in the 9th grade. I started it in 2007, and I finished in 2011. So far, I'm being Pentecostal. That's the only non-native book that I wrote, and The Homework Trouble. But everything else is native. This is the one that cost $80 on StoryJumper.com. It's called The Half-Breed. I started it May 16, 2017, and I finished it January the 26th of 2018. Stay. This one is The Native Who Needed to Change. I was 18. I was in the 11th grade. And I started it in 2008, and I finished it in 2009. This one is A Change of Heart. It's also a native story. I wrote this when I was 16. I was in the 9th grade. I started it in 2007, and I finished January 2014. Excuse me, my phone is ringing. Sorry, I'm back. My neighbor called me and brought me cinnamon rolls. But, anywho, it's cold outside. I didn't realize it was cold. This one is Away from Home. I wrote this when I was 19. I don't think I was in the 11th grade. I think I was 12th. Yeah, I think I was a senior. I'm not sure. But it says 19, 11th, and I wrote it in December 18, 2009. And I finished in 2010. That's when I graduated from high school. So, I wrote this. Yeah, I ran because it was cold. Hidden report card. I was in 2nd grade. Why does it say age 9? I don't know, I guess I was 9. Yeah, I think I was 9. I don't remember. Because I know I was the oldest in my class when I was in the 1st grade. I was the oldest to graduate. I was almost 20. Because I got held back. So, this is the hidden report card. This is actually a book. It's got 4 parts, I think, to it. It's called The Lakota Nation. And I was 17. And again, it says grade 10. Oh well, I don't know. Age 17, I was in the 10th grade. I started it in 2008, and I finished in 2010. That's the first part. This is the second part of the Lakota Nation. This is Lakota Nation Part 2. And I was 18, 11th grade. Started in 2008, and I finished 2010. This is Lakota Nation Part 3. I was 18, 11th grade, started 2008, finished 2012. This is Lakota Nation Part 4. Started, let's see, I was 20 years old, started 2012, finished in 2013. Oop. Come on now. Oh well. And this one I'm recently working on. It's called The Ranch. And I started it August 10th, 2018. So I'm still working on this one. This is still working on it. And then I'm going to show you the books that I did buy from StoryJumper.com. Just to see what they would look like if I ever did publish them someday. Okay, this one I got in, I guess this would be paperback. I'm not sure. But this is the friend I've known for 10 years. That's the one I just showed you. Let me get it. Let's see. Oops. Where is it? Oh, there it is. But yeah, this is what I did. And see, it's got the website on it. That's her. And it's pretty cool. And then that's her, and this is me. Little pigtails. And I did this in purple background and purple writing. But they put the page numbers on there too. So that's this one. And then this one is also paperback, story told by an elder. This is just a rough draft. I just wanted to see what it would look like. This is just an example book. So again, it's got the stuff on it and the website. And I put the picture on, and I just used plain background on this. And see, I put this the yellow words and the pictures in the background. It actually turned out pretty good, so I may have to rebuy it, because I added new stuff to it. And then the last page I put the forest, but that's this one. Okay. This is the paperback. Again, storyjumper.com. This is really cool, especially for the kids and the teachers. Teach them how to write, and you show them this website, they'll be good. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And then this one is the Lakota Nation Part 1, their first book. I changed the image to this one. This is actually a hardback book, and yeah, this is a hardback book. I don't remember what it cost me, but there's that. And you can listen to it on the website, because I put my voice on it too. This is what it looks like. Got chapters in it, and it's pretty cool. Hardback book. There's that one. Then the other one, can't remember how much it cost me, but I did this one, The Red Road, and I got it in hardback. See? Hardback book. And the back is pretty cool. I put this picture in the back. So, and again, it's on You can listen on auto too. I put my voice in it. And it's a gray background. And it's got all the it's got page numbers on it. Let's see. This is page 84. This is the last part. But it's hardback. So this website, storyjumper.com, is really cool. Really cool. I mean, this is amazing. You'll see pictures of kids on there holding their book and, smiling. It's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. But that's all the stories I've wrote. And again, I'm working on one right now. But yeah, I mean, even you guys, if you have comic books, like if you have them on paper and stuff, I think you can do them on here. I don't know about the draw. You may have to take a picture of the drawings. Yeah, for comic books, I think what you can do is take a picture of your drawings with you know how comics are. Take a picture of them and you can put them on here and buy your own comic books. I mean, that'll be awesome. I think you can do that on here too. It'll be cool. You'll get to see your own comic books, either hardback or paper. So, I mean, it's pretty cool what you can do on that storyjumper.com. It's pretty cool. So I just wanted to show you that my stories. That's all I got so far. I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, let's see, 18, 19, 20, 21. It's a lot, including the books, the part 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a lot of stories I've written. A lot, which I love it. It's a hobby. I probably need to pick another hobby too. But I don't know what else I'm good at. I don't know. I may have to think of what other hobbies there is. But that's my hobby. I write stories. I love to do it. I always have a pad with me just in case if I come up with something, I go, oh, I gotta write that down and turn it into a story. So, but me and my sister, we haven't role played in a while, so we need to do that someday. But yeah, that was all my native stories that I write. I don't know how it comes to me, but it just does. Whether I'm dreaming and then I wake up and I write it down. But other than that, that's all the stories I've written. So, but I may do another video if I ever do have another story I'm working on. But that was all the ones that I've written. So I did get requests to do a poem, but I don't like poems. I've never really got into poems. I don't know why. I don't even know how to start if I did write a poem. Well, I guess I need to read a poem, get a book on poems, I guess, and read and try to do a poem. But I don't know because I've never done a non-native story before. I mean, I've tried, but towards the end, it ends up being a native story. I don't know why I can't seem to get away from that. So yeah. But yeah, y'all have a good day.